Welcome to our exploration of the oldest known civilizations in human history. In this video, we'll embark on a captivating journey through time, traveling back thousands of years to uncover the remarkable stories of ancient societies that laid the foundations for modern civilization. These civilizations were the first to build great cities, create complex governments, and develop the arts and sciences. But this is not just a history lesson. We'll go beyond the names and dates to explore how these ancient peoples lived, loved, and fought to survive. What made their societies thrive? What challenges did they face? And ultimately, why did these mighty civilizations fall? We'll also examine the lasting legacies they left behind and how their ideas continue to shape our world today. Whether you're a passionate history buff or just curious about the world's earliest societies, this video promises to be both educational and inspiring. We'll take you to the bustling streets of ancient Mesopotamia, the towering pyramids of Egypt, the meticulously planned cities of the Indus Valley, the majestic dynasties of China, and the mysterious ruins of Mesoamerican cultures. Prepare to embark on an unforgettable journey to the beginning of human civilization. Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization. Mesopotamia, often referred to as the cradle of civilization, is where the story of human civilization truly begins. This fertile region, nestled between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, is located in what is now modern-day Iraq. The name Mesopotamia itself means land between the rivers in Greek, a fitting description for the area that fostered the rise of the world's first great cities. Around 3500 BCE, these cities began to emerge from the rich alluvial plains, giving birth to complex societies that would lay the groundwork for modern culture, governance, and innovation. The people who settled here were quick to recognize the advantages of the region's geography. The Tigris and Euphrates rivers provided a reliable source of water, which was essential in an otherwise arid environment. Early settlers ingeniously harnessed these rivers through the construction of irrigation canals, allowing for the cultivation of vast fields of barley, wheat, dates, and other crops. This agricultural surplus enabled populations to grow, marking a crucial step in the formation of urban centers. The growth of these cities required the development of new forms of organization, governance, and social hierarchies, as managing such large populations brought new challenges. By around 3200 BCE, the first of Mesopotamia's great city-states, such as Ur, Uruk, and Lagash, were emerging. These cities were unlike anything the world had seen before. They housed large populations, reaching up to tens of thousands of people, and were filled with towering temples, grand public buildings, and intricate social structures. Surrounding these cities were vast stretches of farmland, worked by both free citizens and enslaved people, which provided the food necessary to sustain the urban populations. These early cities were more than just centers of agriculture. They were bustling hubs of commerce, politics, and culture. Trade played a key role in Mesopotamian society, with merchants traveling up and down the rivers to exchange goods with neighboring regions. This extensive trade network connected Mesopotamia with distant lands such as Anatolia, modern-day Turkey, the Indus Valley, and Egypt. Commodities like grain, textiles, pottery, metals, and luxury goods moved along these trade routes, fostering not only economic growth, but also the exchange of ideas, technologies, and cultural practices. Uruk, often considered the world's first true city, was a massive urban center, with a population estimated to be over 50,000 at its height. It was home to impressive public buildings, including the famous Eanna temple precinct dedicated to the goddess Inanna, Ishtar. Uruk is also notable for being the birthplace of one of the oldest known pieces of literature, the Epic of Gilgamesh. This epic poem, written in cuneiform, tells the story of Gilgamesh, a legendary king of Uruk, and his adventures as he grapples with the themes of friendship, mortality, and the quest for eternal life. One of the most significant innovations to emerge from Mesopotamia was the creation of writing. Around 3200 BCE, the Sumerians developed cuneiform, a system of writing that used wedge-shaped marks inscribed onto clay tablets. Initially, cuneiform was used for keeping records of agricultural production, trade transactions, and taxes, helping administrators and temple officials manage the economic activities of the city-states. Over time, the use of writing expanded beyond simple record-keeping to include the documentation of laws, religious texts, literature, and even personal letters. The development of writing revolutionized communication, allowing for the transmission of ideas across time and space. No longer reliant on oral traditions, the people of Mesopotamia could now document their laws, religious practices, and stories in written form, ensuring that their culture could be preserved for future generations. The Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the oldest known works of literature, was written in cuneiform and gives us a glimpse into the values and beliefs of ancient Sumerian society. The tale, which explores themes such as the nature of friendship, the fear of death, and the desire for immortality, reveals much about how the Sumerians understood their place in the universe and their relationship with the divine. It also provides insight into the Sumerian view of kingship, portraying Gilgamesh as both a mighty warrior and a flawed leader whose journey toward wisdom reflects the struggles of the human condition. The development of writing also marked the beginning of formal education in Mesopotamia. Scribes, who were trained to read and write cuneiform, became an elite class of society. They were responsible for recording everything from legal contracts to religious hymns and administrative records. The education of scribes was rigorous, requiring years of training in temple schools known as idubus. These schools not only taught the art of writing, but also mathematics, astronomy, and law. Scribes held important positions in the temples, palaces, and courts of Mesopotamian city-states, and their work has provided modern historians with invaluable insights into Mesopotamian life. Another significant Mesopotamian innovation was the invention of the wheel, around 3500 BCE. Though it may seem simple to us today, the wheel revolutionized transportation and trade in the ancient world. Initially, wheels were used for pottery making, but their application to vehicles, such as carts and chariots, had far-reaching consequences. The wheel made it possible to transport goods over long distances with greater ease, facilitating the growth of trade networks that stretched across the region. In addition to its economic impact, the wheel had profound implications for warfare. The development of chariots allowed armies to move more quickly and strike with greater force, giving Mesopotamian city-states a significant advantage in battle. Chariots became a symbol of military power and were often depicted in Mesopotamian art, showing their importance in both practical and symbolic terms. The Mesopotamians were also skilled engineers and architects, developing techniques that allowed them to construct complex buildings and manage large-scale irrigation projects. Ziggurats, massive terraced structures that served as temples, are among the most famous examples of Mesopotamian architecture. These towering edifices were built to honor the gods and were believed to connect heaven and earth. The ziggurat of Ur, dedicated to the moon god Nanna, is one of the best preserved examples of these structures. It was not only a religious center, but also a symbol of the city's wealth and power. Religion was deeply woven into the fabric of Mesopotamian life, and the gods were believed to have direct control over the forces of nature and the fate of human beings. Mesopotamian religion was polytheistic, with a pantheon of gods and goddesses who governed various aspects of the natural world and human experience. The chief god of the Sumerians was Anu, the sky god, while Enlil, the god of wind and storms, played a central role in their religious beliefs. Inanna, Ishtar, the goddess of love and war, was also a prominent deity, worshipped in grand temples and depicted in numerous works of art. Each city-state had its own patron god or goddess who was believed to protect the city and its inhabitants. Temples, known as ziggurats, were built in honor of these deities and were the focal points of religious and civic life. The priests who presided over these temples held immense power, acting as intermediaries between the gods and the people. They were responsible for performing the rituals and sacrifices that were believed to ensure the favor of the gods, as well as managing the temple's wealth and overseeing agricultural production. Religion also played a crucial role in the political structure of Mesopotamia. Kings were seen as the earthly representatives of the gods and were often portrayed as divinely chosen rulers. The concept of kingship was closely tied to religious legitimacy, and kings were expected to uphold the will of the gods by maintaining order and justice within their realms. This idea is exemplified in the reign of King Hammurabi of Babylon, who is best known for his code of laws. Babylon, another major city-state, rose to prominence around 1800 BCE. Under the rule of King Hammurabi, Babylon became one of the most powerful cities in Mesopotamia. Hammurabi's reign, 1792–1750 BCE, is often remembered for his legal code, which is one of the earliest and most complete legal codes in history. The Code of Hammurabi, inscribed on a large stone stele and placed in public view for all to see, consisted of 282 laws that governed nearly every aspect of daily life, from commerce and property rights to criminal justice and family law. The code was based on the principle of retributive justice, famously encapsulated in the phrase, "an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth." While some of the laws seem harsh by modern standards, they represented an important step toward the establishment of a formal legal system that applied to all citizens, regardless of their social status. The code also reveals much about the social structure of Babylonian society. It differentiated between free men, slaves, and women, assigning different rights and responsibilities to each group. However, it also sought to protect vulnerable members of society, such as widows and orphans, by ensuring that they received justice in the courts. The Code of Hammurabi is not only a legal document, but also a reflection of the values and priorities of. Despite its many achievements, Mesopotamia faced significant challenges throughout its history. The region's geography, while providing fertile soil, also made it vulnerable to invasions from neighboring peoples. The flat, open plains of Mesopotamia offered little in the way of natural defenses, and as a result, the region was frequently invaded and conquered by outside forces, including the Akkadians, Assyrians, and Persians. Each of these empires brought new cultural influences to Mesopotamia, but they also contributed to the decline of the city-states as independent political entities. Environmental challenges also played a role in Mesopotamia's decline. Over time, the intensive irrigation practices that had made agriculture possible began to lead to soil salinization. As the salt content of the soil increased, crop yields declined, and it became harder to sustain the large populations that had once thrived in the region. Droughts and changing river courses further exacerbated these challenges, contributing to the eventual collapse of many Mesopotamian city-states. The fall of Mesopotamia as a center of power was not the end of its influence, however. The cultural and technological innovations that emerged from this region spread far beyond its borders, influencing neighboring civilizations and leaving a lasting impact on the world. The influence of Mesopotamia on the wider world cannot be overstated. From its innovations in writing, law, and urban planning to its rich religious traditions, Mesopotamia laid the foundations for many aspects of modern civilization. The idea of codified laws, as seen in the Code of Hammurabi, would become a cornerstone of legal systems throughout history. The invention of writing revolutionized communication, allowing for the recording of history, literature, and administrative records, which would shape the development of future societies. Mesopotamian innovations in mathematics, astronomy, and engineering also had a profound influence on later civilizations. The use of the sexagesimal, base 60 number system, which originated in Mesopotamia, still survives today in the way we measure time: 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, and angles, 360 degrees in a circle. Mesopotamian astronomers developed early star charts and calendars, which were used to track the movements of celestial bodies and predict astronomical events, laying the groundwork for future advances in astronomy. The architectural and engineering techniques developed by the Mesopotamians influenced the construction of monumental buildings and infrastructure projects in later empires, from the ziggurats of the Sumerians to the palaces of the Assyrians and the hanging gardens of Babylon. The echoes of Mesopotamian culture can still be felt today in everything from our legal systems to our methods of record-keeping and communication. Mesopotamia's legacy as the cradle of civilization endures, reminding us of the remarkable achievements of one of the world's earliest and most influential cultures. Ancient Egypt, land of the pharaohs. Our journey now takes us to ancient Egypt, one of the most iconic and enduring civilizations in history. Egypt's civilization arose along the banks of the Nile River, which flows through the northeastern part of Africa. The Nile, the longest river in the world, was the lifeblood of ancient Egypt, providing the water and fertile soil needed to sustain one of the greatest empires of antiquity. Around 3100 BCE, Egypt was unified under the rule of its first pharaoh Menes, who established the first dynasty and set the stage for more than 3,000 years of pharaonic rule. The unification of Upper and Lower Egypt was a momentous event in Egyptian history, marking the beginning of a centralized state governed by a powerful king who was believed to be both a god and a man. The pharaoh was the ultimate authority in Egypt, responsible for maintaining Ma'at, or cosmic order, which was essential for the prosperity and stability of the kingdom. The Nile River played a central role in the development of Egyptian society. Every year, the river flooded its banks, depositing rich, black soil that was ideal for agriculture. The Egyptians referred to their land as Kemet, meaning the Black Land, in reference to this fertile soil. The predictable nature of the Nile's flooding allowed the Egyptians to develop a stable agricultural system that provided enough food to support a large population. Crops such as wheat, barley, and flax were grown along the river's banks. And the surplus produced by this agriculture allowed Egypt to become one of the wealthiest and most powerful civilizations of the ancient world. But the Nile was more than just a source of food. It was also a highway that connected the various regions of Egypt and facilitated trade with neighboring civilizations. Boats laden with goods such as grain, pottery, and gold traveled up and down the river, linking the people of Egypt with distant lands. This trade not only enriched Egypt's economy, but also brought new ideas and technologies into the kingdom. The Egyptians are perhaps best known for their monumental architecture, particularly the pyramids. These massive structures were built as tombs for the pharaohs and were intended to ensure their safe passage to the afterlife. The most famous of these pyramids is the Great Pyramid of Giza. which was built during the reign of Pharaoh Khufu around 2580 BCE. Standing at over 450 feet tall, the Great Pyramid was the tallest man-made structure in the world for more than 3,800 years. Its construction required the labor of thousands of workers and involved the transportation of massive limestone blocks, some of which weighed as much as 15 tons. The precise engineering and mathematical knowledge required to build the pyramids is still a subject of admiration and study today. The construction of the pyramids was closely linked to the Egyptians' religious beliefs. The Egyptians believed that the pharaoh was a god-king who would continue to rule in the afterlife. The pyramids were designed to protect the pharaoh's body and his possessions, ensuring that he could enjoy a comfortable existence in the afterlife. The interiors of the pyramids were filled with treasures, food, and other goods that the pharaoh would need in the next world. The walls of the burial chambers were often adorned with hieroglyphic inscriptions and paintings depicting scenes from the pharaoh's life and his journey to the afterlife. In addition to their monumental architecture, the Egyptians made significant advancements in other fields, particularly medicine and mathematics. Ancient Egyptian doctors were skilled in treating a wide range of ailments, from broken bones to infections. They used a variety of herbal remedies, many of which have been found to have real medicinal properties, and they performed surgeries with a surprising degree of sophistication. The Edwin Smith Papyrus, an ancient medical text dating back to around 1600 BCE, contains detailed descriptions of surgical procedures and is considered one of the earliest known medical documents. The Egyptians were also accomplished mathematicians. They developed a system of mathematics that was used for everything from surveying land to constructing their massive monuments. Their understanding of geometry allowed them to build the pyramids with remarkable precision, and their system of measurement was based on units that could be applied to both architecture and daily life. The Rhind mathematical papyrus, dating to around 1550 BCE, provides insight into the Egyptians' knowledge of arithmetic, geometry, and algebra. Religion played a central role in Egyptian life, and the Egyptians worshipped a pantheon of gods and goddesses who controlled every aspect of the natural world. The sun god Ra, the sky goddess Nut, the god of the underworld Osiris, and his wife Isis were among the most important deities. The pharaoh was considered the living embodiment of Horus, the falcon-headed god of kingship, and after death he became Osiris, the god of the dead. Temples were built throughout Egypt to honor the gods, and these temples were often grand, elaborate structures adorned with statues, carvings, and hieroglyphic inscriptions. The temple complex at Karnak, located near the ancient city of Thebes, is one of the largest and most impressive temple complexes ever built. Construction at Karnak began during the Middle Kingdom, around 2050–1650 BCE, and continued for over 1,500 years. The temple was dedicated to the god Amun, and its vast halls, towering columns, and intricately carved reliefs testify to the wealth and power of the Egyptian state. The civilization of ancient Egypt thrived for more than 3 millennia. But it was not immune to the challenges that have plagued all great empires. Throughout its long history, Egypt faced invasions from foreign powers, including the Hyksos, the Assyrians, and the Persians. The New Kingdom, around 1550–1070 BCE, marked the height of Egypt's power. But after the death of Pharaoh Rameses II in 1213 BCE, the kingdom began to decline. Internal strife, political instability, and invasions by foreign powers weakened Egypt. And by 30 BCE, the kingdom had been absorbed into the Roman Empire following the defeat of Cleopatra VII. Despite its decline, the legacy of ancient Egypt endures to this day. Its monumental architecture, art, and cultural achievements continue to captivate the imagination of people around the world. The hieroglyphic writing system, the mathematical principles used in construction, and the medical knowledge developed by Egyptian doctors have all left a lasting impact on human history. The story of ancient Egypt is one of innovation, spirituality, and monumental achievements that continue to inspire and intrigue us thousands of years later. Indus Valley Civilization, Urban Planning and Trade. Turning our attention to one of the most remarkable and enigmatic early civilizations, the Indus Valley Civilization, we find an ancient society that flourished in the northwestern regions of the Indian subcontinent between 2500 and 1900 BCE. Known for its advanced urban planning, technological innovations, and extensive trade networks, the Indus Valley Civilization, or Harappan civilization, represents one of the earliest and most sophisticated societies in human history. This civilization emerged in the fertile plains around the Indus River, primarily in present-day Pakistan and northwest India. The vastness of the Indus Valley civilization is notable. At its height, it covered over 1.225 million square kilometers, making it one of the largest early civilizations in the world, alongside those in Mesopotamia and Egypt. The region supported hundreds of settlements, with the most prominent cities being Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro. These urban centers exemplified the height of Harappan engineering and urban planning, setting them apart as truly advanced for their time. One of the most distinctive characteristics of the Indus Valley civilization is its sophisticated approach to urban planning. Unlike many other early civilizations, where cities developed organically and irregularly, the Harappans meticulously planned their cities on a grid system. This method of urban design was highly organized, with wide, straight streets intersecting at right angles, much like modern cities today. The layout of these cities reflects a high level of civil organization and attention to both functionality and aesthetics. At the heart of each city was a raised citadel, which housed the city's most important buildings. This elevated area likely served as both a defensive structure and a center for religious, political, and economic activities. Surrounding the citadel were residential and commercial districts, with distinct areas for artisans, merchants, and other city dwellers. What truly set the cities of the Indus Valley apart, however, was their emphasis on sanitation and public health. The Harappans engineered some of the most advanced drainage and sanitation systems of the ancient world. Houses in cities like Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa were equipped with private bathrooms and toilets, luxuries that were not common in many parts of the world until much later. The toilets were connected to a sophisticated system of underground drains that ran beneath the streets. These drains were covered by large bricks or slabs and were designed to carry waste away from the residential areas, ensuring that the streets remained clean and the city's inhabitants stayed healthy. The importance of sanitation in the Indus Valley cannot be overstated. Public baths, such as the Great Bath at Mohenjo-Daro, were constructed as large, centrally located facilities where people could gather to cleanse themselves. This focus on cleanliness and public hygiene was unprecedented in the ancient world and demonstrates a level of civic planning and societal concern for health and well-being that was far ahead of its time. The materials used for construction in the Indus Valley were also of exceptional quality. The bricks used in the construction of buildings and streets were standardized in size, suggesting that the civilization had a highly developed sense of craftsmanship and uniformity. Such standardization points to a strong central authority or government capable of regulating construction and ensuring that cities maintained consistent standards of building materials and techniques. The people of the Indus Valley civilization were not only skilled city planners, but also accomplished craftsmen and engineers. Their ability to work with a variety of materials, such as clay, stone, and metals, resulted in the creation of finely made pottery, jewelry, tools, and sculptures. Excavations at various Indus sites have uncovered a wealth of artifacts that provide insight into the artistic and technological achievements of the Harappans. One of the most impressive examples of their craftsmanship is the intricate beadwork found at Indus Valley archaeological sites. Beads made from materials such as carnelian, agate, and lapis lazuli were shaped, drilled, and polished with extraordinary precision, demonstrating the Harappans' expertise in working with hard stones. These beads were often strung together to make necklaces, bracelets, and other forms of jewelry, which were worn by people of all social classes. The Indus Valley people were also skilled metalworkers. They produced tools, weapons, and ornaments using copper and bronze, and evidence suggests that they may have engaged in early forms of ironworking as well. Harappan metalworkers utilized advanced techniques for casting and shaping metals, creating objects such as tools, axes, and small figurines. One of the most famous artifacts from the Indus Valley is the bronze dancing girl figurine, a striking example of the civilization's artistic and technical abilities. This small but detailed statue, found in Mohenjo-Daro, depicts a young woman standing in a confident, almost playful pose, highlighting both the naturalistic representation of the human form and the Harappan mastery of bronze casting. In addition to their craftsmanship, the Harappans were also innovative in their use of seals for administrative and commercial purposes. These seals, often made of steatite, a type of soft stone, were engraved with images of animals, deities, and symbols, along with the undeciphered script of the Indus Valley. The seals were likely used to stamp goods or documents, marking ownership or origin, and were an essential part of trade and governance in the civilization. Thousands of these seals have been uncovered, yet the script remains undeciphered, making it one of the great unsolved mysteries of ancient history. Trade was a crucial component of the Indus Valley economy, and the Harappans engaged in extensive trade networks that connected them with distant regions, including Mesopotamia, Central Asia, the Persian Gulf, and the Arabian Peninsula. The civilization's geographical location, close to the Arabian Sea and with access to key river systems, made it ideally situated to serve as a hub for long-distance trade. Archaeological evidence points to a thriving trade in various goods, including cotton textiles, pottery, beads, metalwork, and precious stones. One of the most significant exports of the Indus Valley civilization was cotton, which was spun into textiles and traded with other cultures. The Harappans were among the first in the world to cultivate and weave cotton, and their textiles were highly prized in foreign markets. The presence of Indus Valley artifacts, such as pottery and seals at sites in Mesopotamia, suggests that there were direct trade links between the two civilizations. These interactions not only facilitated the exchange of goods, but also likely led to the sharing of ideas, technologies, and cultural practices. Seals bearing Harappan symbols and inscriptions have been found in Mesopotamian cities like Ur and Susa, indicating that Harappan merchants were active participants in the global trade networks of the ancient world. The Indus people also engaged in maritime trade, utilizing boats and ships to navigate the Arabian Sea and trade with regions along the coast. The discovery of dockyards at the ancient site of Lothal, located near the Gulf of Kambhat in modern-day India, provides evidence of the Harappans' advanced knowledge of maritime engineering. The dockyard at Lothal is considered one of the oldest known in the world and served as a vital port for the export and import of goods. The wide reach of Indus Valley trade is further evidenced by the presence of foreign artifacts found within the civilization's borders. Items such as lapis lazuli from Afghanistan, turquoise from Iran, and shells from the Arabian coast have all been discovered at Indus Valley sites, showcasing the cosmopolitan nature of Harappan society. One of the most fascinating and puzzling aspects of the Indus Valley civilization is its writing system, which remains undeciphered to this day. The Harappan script, consisting of over 400 distinct symbols and pictographs, has been found on pottery, seals, and other artifacts across the Indus Valley. Despite extensive efforts by linguists and historians, no definitive breakthrough has been made in deciphering the script. The inability to read the Harappan language has left many questions about the political, social, and religious organization of the Indus Valley civilization unanswered. We know little about the structure of their government, the nature of their religious beliefs, or the details of their legal and economic systems. The script may have been used for administrative purposes, such as keeping records of trade and taxation, or it may have had religious or ceremonial significance. Until the script is deciphered, much of what we know about the inner workings of the Indus Valley civilization remains speculative. The mystery of the Harappan script adds an air of intrigue to the civilization, as it represents one of the few major ancient writing systems that has not yet been understood. The key to unlocking this mystery may one day reveal new insights into the daily lives, beliefs, and practices of the people who lived in the Indus Valley. Around 1900 BCE, the Indus Valley civilization began to decline, and by 1500 BCE, many of its cities had been abandoned. The reasons for this decline are still debated by scholars, and several theories have been proposed to explain the collapse of this once great civilization. One theory suggests that environmental changes played a significant role in the decline of the Indus Valley civilization. Shifts in the course of rivers, such as the drying up of the Sarasvati River, may have disrupted the agricultural systems that supported the cities. Without a stable water supply, it would have become increasingly difficult for the Harappans to sustain their large urban populations. Prolonged droughts or changes in monsoon patterns could have further exacerbated these environmental challenges, leading to food shortages and economic instability. Another theory posits that invasions by nomadic tribes, such as the Indo-Aryans, may have contributed to the decline of the Indus Valley civilization. The arrival of these tribes, who brought with them new cultural practices and technologies, may have led to the displacement of the existing population and the eventual abandonment of the cities. However, there is limited evidence to support the idea of a large-scale invasion, and some scholars believe that the decline was more gradual and primarily caused by internal factors. Whatever the reasons for its decline, the fall of the Indus Valley civilization marked the end of one of the most remarkable urban societies of the ancient world. Many of the cities were abandoned, and the once thriving trade networks and industries fell into disuse. The population likely dispersed into smaller rural communities, and the urban centers that had once been the heart of the civilization faded into obscurity. Despite its decline, the legacy of the Indus Valley civilization lives on. Its innovations in urban planning, sanitation, and trade had a lasting impact on the development of later civilizations in South Asia and beyond. The Harappans' emphasis on cleanliness and public health set a precedent for future urban societies, and their achievements in craft production and trade helped shape the economic and cultural landscape of the ancient world. The influence of the Indus Valley civilization can be seen in the later Vedic culture of South Asia, which absorbed and built upon many of the Harappans' technological and cultural innovations. Elements of Harappan society, such as their craftsmanship in pottery and metalworking, continued to be practiced in the region long after the civilization's decline. The mystery of the Harappan script and the civilization's undeciphered language continues to captivate scholars and historians. The possibility of one day unlocking the secrets of this ancient civilization remains an exciting prospect, as it could provide new insights into the culture, beliefs, and governance of one of the world's earliest urban societies. The Indus Valley civilization remains one of the most fascinating and enigmatic societies in human history. Its achievements continue to inspire admiration and curiosity, and its legacy endures as a testament to the ingenuity and resilience of the people who built one of the ancient world's most advanced and sophisticated civilizations. Ancient China, dynasties and innovations. Ancient China, one of the world's most enduring civilizations, traces its origins back to around 2100 BCE along the Yellow River, often called the cradle of Chinese civilization. The fertile lands of the Yellow River Valley supported the growth of early dynasties such as the Xia and Shang, with the latter being the first for which we have concrete archaeological evidence. The Shang dynasty was marked by its advancements in bronze metallurgy, creating intricate weapons, tools, and ceremonial vessels that reflected their highly developed craftsmanship. This era also saw the development of one of the earliest known forms of Chinese writing, inscribed on oracle bones used for divination. The Shang were succeeded by the Zhou dynasty, which ruled from 1046 to 256 BCE, and introduced the concept of the mandate of heaven. This political philosophy held that the emperor's right to rule was granted by divine authority but could be revoked if the ruler failed to govern justly. This concept became a cornerstone of Chinese political thought, influencing the rise and fall of dynasties for centuries. During the later Zhou period, particularly the Warring States era, China experienced intense political fragmentation, but also a flourishing of intellectual thought. Confucianism and Taoism emerged as two of the most influential philosophical traditions. Confucianism, founded by Confucius, emphasized the importance of moral behavior, social harmony, and the proper relationships between individuals, particularly within the family and state. Confucian ideals would deeply shape Chinese culture, government, and education for millennia. Taoism, on the other hand, founded by Laozi, encouraged living in harmony with the natural world and following the Tao, or Way, as a path to spiritual fulfillment. These philosophies, though seemingly different, both influenced Chinese culture, each finding their place in the lives of Chinese people in different spheres: Confucianism in governance and societal ethics, and Taoism in personal and spiritual well-being. Technological and military innovations were significant during this period. The Warring States period saw the development of ironworking, which improved agricultural tools and weaponry, helping to enhance the power of individual states. The invention of the crossbow gave Chinese armies a technological edge, revolutionizing warfare with greater accuracy and power in battle. Perhaps one of the most remarkable engineering achievements of ancient China is the construction of the Great Wall, which began during the early dynasties and was expanded upon by subsequent rulers. Stretching over 13,000 miles at its peak, the Great Wall was not only a formidable defense against northern invaders, but also a symbol of the strength and unity of the Chinese state. Ancient China's contributions to science and technology extended far beyond the battlefield. The invention of paper during the Han Dynasty revolutionized communication and record-keeping, providing a more practical and affordable medium than the bamboo slips and silk previously used. The development of the compass, originally for divination and later adapted for navigation, enabled Chinese sailors to explore and trade across vast distances, significantly impacting global exploration. Gunpowder, invented during the Tang Dynasty and initially used for religious ceremonies and fireworks, was later applied to military technology, altering the nature of warfare both within China and across the world. These innovations highlight the ingenuity and creativity of ancient Chinese society and demonstrate its far-reaching influence on both Eastern and Western civilizations. The philosophical, cultural, and technological legacies of ancient China continue to shape modern society. Confucianism remains a central part of Chinese thought, influencing everything from family values to government policies, while Taoist ideas about harmony with nature continue to inspire Chinese medicine, art, and spirituality. The technological innovations of ancient China, including paper, the compass, and gunpowder, not only transformed Chinese society, but also had a profound impact on the rest of the world, shaping the course of global history in fundamental ways. From its early dynasties along the Yellow River to its enduring contributions to world civilization, ancient China remains a testament to human achievement, innovation, and the pursuit of wisdom. Mesoamerican civilizations, Olmecs and Mayans. Mesoamerican civilizations, particularly the Olmecs and Mayans, played a vital role in shaping the cultural and historical narrative of pre-Columbian America, leaving behind a legacy that continues to influence the world today. The Olmecs, flourishing between 1200 and 400 BCE along the Gulf Coast of present-day Mexico, are often referred to as the mother culture of Mesoamerica due to their profound influence on later civilizations, including the Mayans and Aztecs. The Olmecs are renowned for their colossal stone heads, which stand over 10 feet tall and were meticulously carved from basalt boulders, transported over vast distances. These heads are thought to represent the powerful rulers of Olmec society, showcasing both the technical prowess and the socio-political structures of this ancient culture. Beyond their monumental sculpture, the Olmecs constructed large ceremonial centers at sites like San Lorenzo and La Venta, which functioned as religious, political, and social hubs. These centers housed intricate plazas, temples, and pyramids, indicating a high level of urban planning and architectural sophistication. Olmec influence extended far beyond their geographical borders, as many of their cultural and religious practices, such as the Mesoamerican ball game, a ritualistic sport that involved a rubber ball and often had deep religious and political significance, were adopted by subsequent civilizations throughout the region. The Olmecs also laid the foundation for Mesoamerican iconography, with many of their motifs and symbols, such as the jaguar and feathered serpent, persisting in the art and religion of later cultures. Building upon the legacy of the Olmecs, the Mayans emerged as one of the most prominent civilizations in Mesoamerica, flourishing between 250 and 900 CE in regions that now encompass southern Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, and El Salvador. The Mayans are perhaps best known for their extraordinary achievements in astronomy, mathematics, architecture, and writing, making them one of the most scientifically advanced civilizations of their time. Their deep understanding of celestial movements allowed them to create incredibly accurate calendars, including the Tzolk'in and Harb, which were used to track time, guide agricultural cycles, and coordinate religious and political events. The Mayans developed a calendar system that was both solar and ritualistic, aligning their sacred calendar with the movements of the stars and planets, which played a central role in their religion and governance. This sophisticated calendrical system, along with their ability to predict solar and lunar eclipses, underscored their mastery of astronomy and contributed to their advanced agricultural planning and ceremonial life. Additionally, the Mayans made significant contributions to mathematics, most notably the development of the concept of zero, a revolutionary idea at the time that allowed for more complex mathematical calculations. This innovation was crucial not only for the Mayans' sophisticated calendar system, but also for their architectural achievements, which included the construction of towering pyramids, palaces, and observatories. The Mayan civilization is equally famous for its monumental architecture, with iconic structures such as the pyramids of Tikal and Chichen Itza standing as testaments to their engineering capabilities and religious devotion. These pyramids, some of which were aligned with celestial events such as the solstices and equinoxes, served as ceremonial and religious centers where the Mayans performed rituals, sacrifices, and astronomical observations. The Pyramid of Kukulkan at Chichen Itza, for example, is a marvel of architectural and astronomical alignment. During the equinoxes, the play of light and shadow creates the illusion of a serpent slithering down the pyramid steps, a reflection of the Mayans' deep connection to the cosmos and their gods. Mayan cities were not only religious and political centers, but also hubs of trade and culture. The Mayans engaged in extensive trade networks that connected them with other Mesoamerican civilizations, as well as with distant regions across Central America. They traded goods such as cacao, jade, obsidian, and textiles, which were highly valued both within and beyond their borders. Despite these achievements, the Mayan civilization experienced a dramatic decline, with many of their major cities being abandoned by the 10th century. The reasons for the collapse of the Mayan civilization remain a subject of ongoing debate among scholars, though several factors are believed to have contributed to their downfall. Environmental degradation, particularly deforestation and soil exhaustion, may have led to a decline in agricultural productivity, undermining the civilization's ability to sustain its large urban populations. Prolonged droughts, documented in both historical records and geological evidence, likely exacerbated these environmental challenges, leading to food shortages, social unrest, and political instability. Additionally, internal conflicts, including warfare between competing city-states, further weakened the Mayan political structure, making it difficult for the civilization to maintain its cohesion in the face of these mounting pressures. The combination of environmental stress, resource depletion, and political fragmentation created a perfect storm that led to the eventual abandonment of many Mayan cities. Despite their decline, the legacy of the Olmecs and Mayans continues to inspire awe and fascination to this day. Their contributions to art, architecture, astronomy, mathematics, and writing have left an indelible mark on the cultures of Central America and beyond. The Mayan script, for instance, remains one of the most complex and sophisticated writing systems developed in the pre-Columbian Americas, and ongoing efforts to decipher it continue to shed light on the history, religion, and daily life of this remarkable civilization. Additionally, the architectural wonders of the Mayans, such as their pyramids and observatories, continue to be studied and admired by archaeologists, historians, and tourists alike. The influence of these civilizations can also be seen in the cultural practices and traditions of the indigenous peoples of Mesoamerica, who have preserved elements of their ancestral heritage through language, art, and ritual. Today, the achievements of the Olmecs and Mayans are recognized not only for their historical significance, but also for their enduring contributions to the development of human knowledge and culture, reminding us of the richness and complexity of the ancient world. The fall of ancient civilizations. The fall of ancient civilizations is a complex and multifaceted phenomenon, often influenced by a convergence of environmental, economic, social, and political factors that created a cascading effect leading to their eventual collapse. Environmental changes played a pivotal role, as many early civilizations such as the Maya, the Indus Valley, and Mesopotamia were deeply reliant on agriculture for their sustenance and economic stability. Prolonged droughts, soil degradation, and changing river courses could devastate crop yields, undermining the food supply that supported large urban populations. For example, the drying up of the Sarasvati River is thought to have contributed to the decline of the Indus Valley civilization, while the Maya faced severe droughts that disrupted their ability to feed their people, leading to widespread famine and social unrest. Resource depletion compounded these environmental challenges. As populations grew and cities expanded, the demand for essential resources such as water, wood, and fertile land increased. Overexploitation of these resources, such as deforestation in regions like the Mayan lowlands or the salinization of farmland in Mesopotamia due to intensive irrigation practices, further weakened the foundations of these societies. In addition to environmental stresses, internal conflicts and political instability accelerated the decline of many civilizations. Power struggles, corruption, and civil wars undermined effective governance and eroded social cohesion, leaving these societies vulnerable to external threats. The Roman Empire, for instance, suffered from political fragmentation and a breakdown of central authority, which weakened its ability to respond to both internal and external pressures. The constant jockeying for power among rival factions within the empire destabilized its administration, leaving it susceptible to invasions. The fall of the Western Roman Empire in 476 CE, hastened by invasions from Germanic tribes like the Visigoths and Vandals, is a prime example of how internal discord can leave a civilization exposed to external forces. Similarly, the collapse of the Indus Valley civilization and the decline of the Maya were likely exacerbated by invasions from nomadic tribes or neighboring civilizations seeking to exploit their weakened states. These invasions compounded the internal challenges these civilizations were already facing, creating a perfect storm that led to their ultimate downfall. While the collapse of these great societies marked the end of an era, their legacies have endured. Their innovations in governance, science, art, and culture continue to shape the modern world, reminding us of the fragility of even the most powerful civilizations and the complex interplay of factors that can lead to their decline. Notable legacies of ancient civilizations. The legacies of ancient civilizations have profoundly shaped the fabric of modern society, leaving an enduring impact across virtually every domain of human life. One of the most significant contributions is the development of writing systems, such as the Sumerian cuneiform and Egyptian hieroglyphics, which enabled early societies to record their history, laws, and religious beliefs, laying the foundation for literacy and communication that influences modern languages and alphabets. The Phoenician alphabet, adapted by the Greeks and Romans, directly led to the script we use today, showcasing the lasting importance of these early advancements in language. In the realm of governance, the political innovations of ancient Greece and Rome have had a profound influence on modern political systems. The democratic principles of Athens, where citizens participated directly in decision-making, served as a precursor to contemporary democratic governments that emphasize civic engagement, voting rights, and the rule of law. Meanwhile, the Roman Republic introduced foundational concepts such as the separation of powers and checks and balances, which continue to shape modern constitutions around the world. Roman legal traditions, including the codification of laws and the principle of equality before the law, laid the groundwork for many legal systems still in use today. Science, mathematics, and technology from ancient civilizations also continue to resonate in the modern world. The Babylonians' base 60 numerical system still influences our measurement of time and angles, while Greek mathematicians like Euclid and Archimedes made groundbreaking advancements in geometry and physics that form the basis of modern scientific inquiry. The Mayans' invention of the concept of zero was revolutionary for mathematics, paving the way for more complex calculations. Ancient China's contributions to technology, such as the invention of paper, the compass, and gunpowder, had a transformative effect on communication, navigation, and warfare, not just in Asia, but eventually across the globe. Cultural and religious practices from ancient societies continue to shape contemporary life in profound ways. The ethical teachings of Confucianism, which emphasize respect for authority, family loyalty, and social harmony, remain central to East Asian cultures and influence both personal relationships and governmental policies. Similarly, religious traditions that originated in ancient civilizations, such as Hinduism, Buddhism, Judaism, and early forms of Christianity, continue to guide the spiritual lives of billions of people today, shaping moral values, rituals, and community structures. Architectural and engineering achievements from ancient civilizations also persist in modern construction techniques and design. The monumental pyramids of Egypt, the sophisticated aqueducts of Rome, and the Great Wall of China all demonstrate the advanced engineering knowledge of ancient peoples, and their influence can still be seen in the infrastructure and architecture of contemporary cities. These ancient structures not only reflect technical prowess, but also continue to inspire modern architectural design, as seen in neoclassical buildings and infrastructure projects that echo the grandeur and precision of ancient forms. In every corner of the globe, the innovations of ancient civilizations, whether in language, governance, science, culture, or architecture, continue to shape the way we live, think, and build our world today. Their achievements laid the foundation for countless aspects of modern life, and their legacies serve as a reminder of the enduring power of human ingenuity and creativity throughout history. Conclusion. In this video, we explored the fascinating journey of ancient civilizations, highlighting their remarkable rise, eventual decline, and enduring legacies. We began by examining the geographical advantages that facilitated the growth of early societies, such as the fertile lands of Mesopotamia and the life-giving Nile River in Egypt. We then discussed the innovations and cultural achievements of these civilizations, from the monumental architecture of the pyramids to the advancements in writing and governance. As we analyzed the factors leading to their decline, we recognized the impact of environmental challenges, internal conflicts, and external invasions. These elements remind us of the fragility of even the most powerful societies. However, the legacies of these ancient cultures continue to shape our modern world, influencing language, political systems, scientific advancements, and cultural practices. Reflecting on these historical narratives is essential for understanding our present and guiding our future. By learning from the past, we can appreciate the complexities of human civilization and the lessons it offers. If you enjoyed this exploration of ancient civilizations, we invite you to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share it with others who might find it interesting. Stay tuned for more engaging content that delves into the rich tapestry of history.